around us picking up shit.
So going back to the music, it's really easy to take that upfront money, and a lot of cats. I'm sure you weren't balling out of control, back then. What makes you people like you choose ownership over someone who's quick to say, man, just give me that whatever 100,000 and we'll call it even. When at the end of the day, you can make millions off your ownership.
I was taught by Swamp Dog about the record industry. We was making so much money independently, man. It almost didn't make no sense to give nobody, to be under that kind of scrutiny once you go to a major. Once you go to a major, your release dates are when they tell you are, when you tell you they are. When you were Crew Cut or Michel'le, whenever you finish the record, shit, that motherfucker's finished. The release date is the day after that, okay? That's the release date is. Whenever I finish this motherfucker, that's the release date. Whether it be a Friday, a weekend, if I finish that motherfucker on Friday and get all the parts back, Thursday is the release date, okay? And when you go to a major, you got to stand in line. You got to stand, and that's what happened to World Class Record Crew's first album. I mean, our CBS album, we got signed to CBS and Sony, and dude, we up there with Tina Marie and Luther Vandross and all these other cats, dude. And it's like, these niggas got to stand in line. We don't know y'all. And every time somebody start doing things, man, we got pushed back. But our album was finished in January, didn't come out to fucking July. Okay, July, 6 months. Everything we talked about was over with by the time the album came out, so it was already stale before it even came out. And that was at that time, hip hop was moving fast, man. Hip hop was moving fast. Hip hop at that time was being controlled by the independents, so the independents could drop a record whenever they wanted to. And Fat Boy, and that's when you had a lot of your diss records. Okay, when you had a diss record, you got to go to the studio and you got 10 days to respond to this shit. Okay, and you could do that as an independent. You can't do that as a major. Majors don't move fast. Trying to get a major to move fast is like trying to get a ship to make a U-turn. It's gonna take a minute. Whereas with a rowboat, you just flip that motherfucker around. Okay, same thing.
Going back to Master P, and listen, Evan, whenever that song came out, but what gives someone the balls to flat out take a song? Do you think Master P didn't care, or he just didn't know?
Probably didn't know. If figured I was in California, he was in Louisiana, I wasn't going to hear it. And I never really heard the record on California. Okay, just somebody else. I was doing business with another company in Tennessee, and it was a big record in Tennessee. And they knew the record, they sold it. And Lonzo, you got this right here? No, I don't. Check this out. What? No shit. Oh man, go get my money. And that's basically what it was. I'm fighting with that shit right now because even though I got all the shit straight, in some situations the shit has been rewritten in Canada and overseas. My name ain't on shit, so we got to go back and get all that shit straightened out. Oh yeah, they get slick with the shit. Oh yeah, just because you got this.
Wow, thank you, Isaiah.
Much love, Isaiah. Yeah, when soon as shit goes global, motherfuckers can put what they want to. If you don't catch the shit, nobody, because that's the part that the digital era is correcting that, because once you lock in with the codes on your product, now wherever it shows up at, because once those what you call them, tag codes, whatever it is, that's embedded into the song, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whatever the case may be, once those codes are in the song, wherever it pops up at, you'll get credit for it. See, you couldn't do that with analog. Wherever analog was, it didn't make no difference because there was no codes attached to it. So you have to go now. I'm going through now. I have to go through all my shit and make sure all the codes are registered to me. That's what Sound Exchange and MLC and a few other organizations do, to make sure that whatever you have, you get the proper credit for it. I had to hire a publishing manager to go through all my shit to make sure all my shit is correct. And they found so much incorrect shit, it's ridiculous. Oh yeah, it's a bunch of shit out there. I mean, shit overseas, like I said, overseas is holding money that's not been collected. Shit that's been supposed to be shown. People have collected money for me and they just ain't gave it to me. some shit I had even didn't even know it was being played overseas. And overseas has they call a black box, a black account. And if it don't get collected by a certain amount of time, they just disperse the shit. And Universal is notorious for claiming people's money that they ain't got no business claiming. Universal Music Group is notorious for claiming people's money that they had nothing to do with. But again, they're the big boys. And motherfucker tell me, prove that you didn't prove that you didn't do a deal with Universal. Motherfucker, fuck you. Prove I did. Make them prove I did. Okay? Where's the paperwork to say that I got to deal with you on anything? But they won't do. They won't make Universal prove shit. They want the little guy to prove against Universal. Hey, get the fuck out of here with that shit. And that shit can be very expensive and very costly. And that's why most people don't do it. Yeah, but there are people out there who understand the game, and they'll do it on a contingency basis and take a percentage. And that's what I'm working with.
Damn. Isaiah has a good question. He says, why do artists sell their catalogs? Isn't it better to keep for your legacy and bloodline? What's the advantage that's so significant they sell it all?
Not necessarily, man. Sometimes I thought about the same thing. When you got as much money as a Dre does, or a Lil Wayne, or so many other cats, in most cases, you're better off selling the shit and buying real estate and leaving that to your folks, because the musical part can get very convoluted. And like I said, when Dre sold this shit for over $100 million, he don't need the money, but he can take the money, like I say, and use it in another instrument and make more money, because he won't make that in his lifetime off the catalog. Yes, his bloodline may do it, but he got so damn much money, his bloodline is straight. Gonna be a lot of motherfuckers bleeding before they be broke again. Okay, it'll be a lot of people dying and bleeding before they be broke again. So you can probably make more money short term for a long. In his circles, in their circles, I should say, their money people know they can make $100 million turn into a $200 million. I don't know, in 10 years, as opposed to trying to take this music and make it work for itself. And the people they sell it to, they're gonna make it work anyway. And in most cases, they may sell the catalog, they may not sell all the publishing. So they still riding in the car with the record. They may sell the masters, but not the publishing. They may sell the publishing, but not the masters. UPS, Motown. I think Berry Gordy sold the masters, but he didn't sell the publishing. So he still gets paid for that shit. You know, however the deal goes, you still can control. You still can have an input. Like I said, just because you sell the masters, the publishing is still very valuable. And that's the one that people redo the songs and keep getting paid for. So you can sell all the Temptation masters. People can license that shit, still make money, and then every time somebody redoes a song, "I Wish It Would Rain," you still get paid for your publishing, and that's a whole nother master now. So it's the record game. If you don't understand it, once you get an idea how it really works, you'll realize record industry is like McDonald's in some ways. It's not really about the music. It's about the money the music makes.